Hello, my esteemed viewers. You are welcome to this channel. And in this lesson today, we will be looking at how to solve exponential equations. Solving exponential equations is very challenging sometimes because some of them will end up in quadratic equation. And in this video, we will be looking at some of these exponential equations that will eventually end up in quadratic equation. Now, take a look at this equation. Solve 2 raised to power 2k minus 6 into 2 raised to power 2k equals to minus 8. This is a typical exponential equation because of the indices we have in here. Here we have 2k as the index, and here we have k as the index. So these are the indices we have in this exponential equation. How do we solve this type of equation? Well, it's very simple. First, you try and transform the equation. By transformation, I mean you just simply bring in this constant across equality sign to the left hand side, and when you do that transformation, you will have something like this. You will have 2 raised to power k, everything raised to power 2, minus 6 2 raised to power k plus 8 equals to 0. And that happens after bringing this minus 8 to the left hand side, and then you just rearrange this index. So when you rearrange this index, you will now have something like this. So you can now make your assumption. You can assume that let 2 raised to power k equals to p. You can use any letter of your choice, but as for me, I like using p. So let 2 raised to power k be equals to p. Then if you substitute that assumption, you will now have p squared minus 6p plus 8 equals to 0, because the whole of this 2 raised to power k will now be p, then this square will still remain. This minus 6 is still, then this 2 raised to power k will now change to p, this plus 8 is. So you now observe that we are having a quadratic equation. Then when you arrive at a quadratic equation in this manner, that is, you were not originally solving quadratic equation, something else led to it. It's very important that you try factorizing the equation. It is only when the quadratic equation does not factorize before you try the other methods, such as formula method and completing the square method. And besides, I have done a lot of job on solving quadratic equations. So I will invite you to go back to some of those videos that I will be leaving their links in the description box and check or review how to solve quadratic equation. But in this case, we are using factorization method. Now, what is the approach in using factorization method? Just to use the square variable to multiply the constant. If you do this multiplication, you're going to have 8p squared. That means you're using the p squared times the constant, you will have 8p squared. Now, find the factors of 8p squared. Two numbers will multiply to give you 8p squared, such that when you sum them, you will get this middle term, or the coefficient of p, which is minus 6. Remember, the factors of 8p squared will be 2p and 4p. If you multiply 2 by 4, you will get 8. You multiply p by p, you get in p squared. So if you multiply these two factors, you're coming back to 8p squared. Then if you sum minus 2p minus 4p, you will get this middle term. So that means this middle term can be substituted by minus 2p and minus 4p. And that's what you will have in this next line. I have my p squared minus 2p minus 4p plus 8 equals to 0. The minus 2p and minus 4p is coming from the factors of 8p squared. Now you factorize. I now have 4 terms. Group them 2 by 2 and factorize. In these 2 terms, something is common. P is common. So P divided by P square, we have P. 2P divided by P, we have minus 2. Then minus 4P and plus 8, something is common. That's minus 4. So if I factorize these 2 terms, I will have P minus 2. Now if you check the content of these 2 brackets, they are exactly the same. P minus 2, P minus 2. So you pick one, then combine the remaining factors. P minus 4 equals to 0. So at this stage, you can now solve for P. Now P minus 2 into P minus 4 equals to 0. You pick one of the brackets, P minus 2 is equals to 0, implying that P is equals to 2. Now you recall that we earlier defined P to be 2 raised to power K. So if P is equals to 2 raised to power K, then you can make its substitution here. Then let's see how that substitution goes. So we now have 2 raised to power K equals to 2 raised to power 1. And that gives us K to be equals to 1. What that simply means is that because these two numbers, they have the same base, this can actually cancel this. Then you have your K equals to 1. Then you pick the second factor we have in the solution. P minus 4 equals to 0. Imply that P is equals to 4. Then remember that P is equals to 2 raised to power K. Therefore, 2 raised to power K will be equals to 4. Then we have 2 raised to power K being equals to 2 raised to power 2, because 4 is the same thing as 2 raised to power 2. Again, these 2 and these 2 can cancel each other. Then you now have K to be equals to 2. Therefore, the solution to this exponential equation will be K equals to 1 or 2. So that is the solution to this exponential equation. If you find this video very interesting, if you appreciate what was done, please subscribe to this channel, share with your friends, tell your friends to come here, because we have very good substance, very good information for everybody. If you are preparing for GC or WAEC and you have any challenge in any of the sciences, chemistry, maths and physics, please drop your comments in the description box or in the comment section. We will be glad to give you our feedback. Thank you very much for our returning viewers, and for those that are yet to subscribe, please do us the honor, subscribe to this channel and share. Thank you very much. See you in my next video. Bye.